Happy Friday, everybody. Let's make some money together. Gonna look at some good pitchers for the day, talk about some stacks. Let's get paid. All right, you know the dill pickle. I am using the MLB DFS Study Hub here at teamriserfall.com. Going to be making a lineup or two here in Fantasy Cruncher as well. Going to be using the projections you can see have already been updated this morning. And if we get some starting lineups that pop, well, of course, I'll use this, but it's super early in the morning. That's not going to happen. But you've got the MLB starting lineups page. This is free. You guys can use this every day if you'd like. Just go to the website, you go to the MLB tab, and then bang, starting lineups. All right, so let's dive right into the Study Hub. I am looking at the Trends Stacks tab. It's the far right tab on the Study Hub. You can see it's right past the StatCast data and the batter percentiles, right? So you can slide all the way over. It's probably like the 10th or 12th tab on the Study Hub that you guys can just put in work. All right, one team I'm looking at today, and that's going to be the Texas Rangers. This is a nice, healthy sample size, 226 plate appearances against right-handed pitchers. I know they're facing a right-handed pitcher because I was looking at the FanDuel pitcher tab on the Study Hub earlier. Over the last 14 days, 226 plate appearances against right-handed pitchers, have a 365 WOBA, 221 ISO. Strikeout rate is low, a WRC plus of 135. These are great numbers. And out of these teams here at the top, I like their matchup the most. They're facing Trevor Williams, right-handed pitcher for the Nats. When I slide over to the FanDuel pitcher tab, it's hidden by my overlay here on the stream, but this is the FanDuel pitcher tab. You got all this data here that you can look at, splits, pitching stats for the season, blah, 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 right? So I'm going to go here looking at opponent run. Okay, this is the IRT for their opponents. Well, it's gorgeous. I mean, the second highest IRT on the entire slate right now, Trevor Williams against the Rangers. So the Rangers with a 5.41 implied run total. That is beautiful. All right, so I'm looking at the FanDuel Stacks tab. I'm on FanDuel today. Did DraftKings the last 3 videos. Oh, by the way, if you want these videos every single day, do me a huge favor. Drop the like button, leave a comment. Yesterday was the best day I've seen yet, and I actually missed all the comments. Do it again for me. Do it again for me. I saw the views go up a little bit, so thank you so much. Hit the like button right now. You can scroll down on your phone, or if you're on computer, you should see the thumb. Just hit the thumb. Smash the thumb, as the YouTubers say. And then if you are able to, when the video ends, please just quick, good job, nice job. I like Arizona today. I don't like your stack. I'm locking this pitcher in, whatever. Leave your comment. I'm curious to see where you guys are on the slate or what you think of these daily videos. So here it is, FanDuel Stacks tab, and I was looking through this morning. It's interesting. I'm going to lock this first team spot so that when you scroll to the right, this will be updated for the afternoon. When you scroll to the right, the team names will stay. Right now, it's only an issue because I have the screen zoomed in so much because I want you all to be able to see the numbers. If I have it zoomed out, it shows just fine. But for my videos, when I zoom in, having these unlocked isn't working. So let's leave it unlocked so you can see who I'm talking about. Arizona stands out to me. We have them as the 7th best ranked team to stack today. Ownership wise, 16th. When I go over to the FanDuel pitcher tab, I want to see who is Arizona up against today. And they are facing Rich Hill. So we've got Zach Gallen on the mound at home, Rich Hill on the road today, and we have a 4.75 IRT for the Diamondbacks today, which is pretty healthy. It ends up being the 7th highest IRT for the day. The Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees end up being the 2nd and 3rd ranked teams today to stack and are 6th and 8th in ownership projections. So you get a nice little leverage here. And if CG, you're watching this, you can remove the super draft stuff. Just have the leverage spot come right over right next to these. We don't need the super draft stuff in there anymore. Let's see. I want to probably target Minnesota. I want to target the Yankees. I want some ownership exposure to the Diamondbacks. And I think I want some exposure to Baltimore today that ends up being the 9th ranked team and 17th owned team. So when I go over to FanDuel pitcher matchups, I want to see, well, who's pitching for Baltimore today. I can quickly click Baltimore at Minnesota. Talented Bailey Ober at home, against the visiting Baltimore Orioles. So I don't know. We'll see when we go over to the pitchers and select our pitchers for the day. But let's slide over to Fantasy Cruncher. We've kind of highlighted a handful of teams that we're looking to stack up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab our projections first and foremost, go into FanDuel on our projections page, hit the download button, pops up in the bottom left of my screen. You can't see it. I'm going to slide back over to Fantasy Cruncher. I'm clicking the Upload Data tab, Upload File, FanDuel Projections. I just want the projections right now. So I click this blue box. It says Skip All, and I'm going to uncheck these. I don't want the name and projection skipped. Add Upload. Good to go. All my projections are there. Okay, so I'm going to go over to advanced options. I'm going to throw in 3 uniques. I just want to show you kind of like what an optimal projection crunch would look like for 4-player stacks. I'm leaving this all. I just want a generic view of what would happen if I were to grab my favorite teams for the day. I'm going to sort by Team Vegas prediction. It's always a little bit easier for me when I'm looking through this. So we talked about Arizona. We talked about Minnesota. We talked about the Yankees. And we talked about Baltimore. All right. So we've got 4 teams there. You know, we did mention, maybe I did not, I don't know. But maybe I was already eyeing Texas and the Dodgers personally. But let's go ahead and just roll with these 4 as an example. I think, of course, the Rangers against Trevor Williams and the Dodgers against a visiting on the road Griffin Canning, who they've left out there for 100-plus pitches a couple times lately. And then, you know, Luis Medina, my gosh, this dude just keeps walking 4, 5, 6 hitters per game. Boston clearly going to be in play, but the ownership's going to follow them, and their implied run total is over 6. That's nuts. Let's just roll with these 4 for now, trying to get some leverage on the tournament. That's all this is. So it's just pure leverage. We're not worried about anything else. I'm crunching it out again. I've not edited any of the exposures. I have not put in a second team to stack with. I have not changed anything but the uniques to having 3 uniques, and my pitching pool is full. I did not select my pitching pool, and here we are. You can see it's kind of slamming in. Rodon here, 50% of my lineups, so on and so forth. And the team stacks tab is what I wanted to really show you. You can look at the combos. There's a handful of 4-3s, a bunch of 4-2s, and you have a bunch of naked 4-player stacks. You can see the ownership-wise, my exposure, Yankees, Minnesota, Arizona sneaking in there. So this clearly is going to be an issue. If I'm trying to get exposure to all those different teams for 150 max, one thing I can do is I go back here and I'm going to change my exposures to, well, I picked 4 teams, 25%. If I really want to allocate it 25% across so that 1 out of every 4 teams is one of my stacks, and that way it would come out math-wise to be 4 teams being used every 4 stacks. And that's kind of how the cruncher would use it. So I would have equal distribution in my exposure across my stacks. Now, if you like certain teams more than another, you would change that. So maybe I loved Arizona today. Okay, well then for Arizona, maybe I give them a 40% exposure. Maybe I like Baltimore the least against Bailey Ober. So I put Baltimore at 7% exposure, so on and so forth. Now, the other thing you're going to have to pay attention to when you do this, well, my friends, check it out. I'm getting a lot of exposure to certain players, and you're just purely based on projections. Rafael Devers ends up being a big target today. Jarren Duran, the table setter for Boston, as they are both against Luis Medina today. Verdugo out of the 2-hole here is getting a lot of exposure. Justin Turner, again. So you get the top 4 Boston batters. And if you want that exposure, that's fine. You can leave it as is. And same for the pitchers. You're getting a lot of exposure. I'm going to go to the pitcher tab to Carlos Rodon. If you're worried about him coming off the injury, I believe the furthest he went was 4 innings. Maybe it was 58 pitchers or so. Can't remember off the top of my head. So I'm not entirely sure what his pitch count will be today against the Cubbies. So if you don't like that at 9,300, well, you might want to remove him or hit the thumb down button to lower his projections a little bit. Or if you love them, you can thumb them up. It's up to you. Or you can outright just remove them if you're nervous, or slide on over here, my friends, all the way over. You can click this exposure button, and you can be like, well, the projections love them, but I'm nervous about them. Put them in there 15%. And then maybe you're going to advanced options, general, and let's do 50% for all players. So that means Baltimore players. And I'm going to have to go back to Rodon because I had just done a global. So I'll put him back at 15. I'm going to crunch now. So what that's going to do, it's going to cap my global pool at 50%, Rodon at 15%. So I won't get any more than Carlos Rodon at 15% of my lineups. And you'll see exposure spreading out now. And then stacks-wise, you're seeing, remember, we set a 25% global cap. So I've got my 4 leverage stacks in there, just pure leverage game. And then player-wise, since I did a global cap, now we no longer have Devers at 80%, Durant at 86%, so on and so forth, because I capped them at 50%. All right, so I mean, it's a really interesting way to play today. You can play the leverage game. You got some nice looking matchups. You know, if you're kind of concerned about Carlos Rodon, you know, you got some interesting price point pivots. If you want to just get off him and go to, you know, I don't know, Hunter Brown at home against Seattle, or Justin Verlander on the road at San Diego. Yu Darvish is at home today. There's just a lot of interesting spots at pitcher today. It's not like you don't have choices. You know, I'm not entirely sure that I'm slamming in any one pitcher. I really want to spread my exposure out today for sure. So do what you want with your info. Hopefully this is a helpful way to build lineups for you. You guys can do it however you see fit. I was hoping to just show you kind of the ease of using FC if you know what you're doing. Hopefully this video is helpful for you and being able to learn how to do it. If not, sign up using promo code DONUTS, 50% off. You get our access to all of our tools, our content, our strategy notebook, our cores, our picks. You get the study hub, the projections, the ownerships, the ratings, all the different metrics. And of course, that study hub, man, I mean, if you want to do research, you can do all the research in the world on one page. No more going to 5, 6 different sites, having all these different tabs up. You can get everything you need on our website, $14.99 for your first month, and you get access to Fantasy Cruncher through our credit. So sign up, use code DONUTS. If you're here and already a member and you just want support, hit the like button, drop a comment after the video. I'll see you inside today, my friends. Let's get paid. Let's get paid.